right, here we go. Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Green Liberty, and with me is...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
Hey, we got some stuff. We've got PlayStation Plus games and games of gold. We got new Overwatch map, new patch, PTR. We got Injustice 2 release date. We've got Mass Effect Andromeda, and we've got From Software saying a new game's coming in 2017. But before we get into that, just wanted to wish everyone happy 2017. It's a fresh new year, and we're gonna move forward from last year. That's the best way. That's the best way to look at it. And basically, before we get into that, we're gonna talk about what we played this week. So finally beat Last Guardian. Finished that up, and have to say it's a really, really fantastic game. I had a lot of fun playing it, and out of all the three games, or Team Ico games, I guess Ico, Shadow, and this one has the strongest ending. This one has the best ending, in my opinion. It's the most satisfying, and I really, really did enjoy it. And the one other thing is that every time I was playing this game, I started to go, okay, this is why the game didn't come out for the PS3.
Okay, so that's good at least.
Yeah, literally, I'm like, I understand now, because the tech that they wanted to showcase, this would have, from a lot of comments have pointed out, this would have blown up a PS3 if they attempted to do some of the stuff. And every time, it's something that really satisfying is that the thing that I always love about Team Ico is that they are so good when it comes to making movement feel really exhilarating. Every time the Trico, which is the Last Guardian, when he jumps from a pillar to pillar and you get that little bit of slowdown, it's really, really exhilarating, and it's awesome. And there's a really creative way. I think the puzzles are overall pretty good. They're not super complicated, and that's the thing. There's not... I feel like the game could have been a lot worse if it's the puzzles were way too difficult or impossible to understand. And there's some puzzles in Shadow of the Colossus that are freaking insanity hour as far as how was I ever supposed to figure this out, you know? That being said, I really, really did enjoy the game. I still think, as far as how I rank the three games, it's still Shadow still beats it a little bit, because there's just some things in Shadow that I think were just so mind blowing at the time, and this game is still really, really good, and it has a way better ending than Shadow, period. But still, if I had to rank them, it would be Shadow, Last Guardian, and then Ico, in that order. But it's still a really fantastic game, and I'm so happy that I can say that yes, I've actually played The Last Guardian. You know, it didn't turn into one of those, man, I wish I could be playing The Last Guardian. You know, one of those failed games that just never came out.
Or even worse, one of those games that came out and ended up being Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, or something like that. Or even Duke Nukem Forever or something like that. That would have been bad. But yeah, no, overall, really, really great game. The other game that I played was Walking Dead Season 3. I got some PlayStation. I know. But I had to know, because, I really like Clementine, and she is awesome... Sorry?
I said I do like her.
Yeah, she's a really great character. And one of the things that I will admit that I thought was really interesting was, so you play as a character who... What I do like about what they're setting up right now is they're setting up the idea of family and how family is important in the Walking Dead universe. You know, do you stick with your family, or what do you do to survive, you know? And the conflicts between them. And they're setting up some really interesting plot points and dynamics where that's the one thing that I actually really do like about The Walking Dead, is that there's a lot of decisions in the game that are okay, should I do this, or it's not oh, this is the right answer, or versus this is the evil answer, you know? There's a lot of moral gray stuff, which I do enjoy. The other thing that I find really interesting is that Clementine shows up in this game, but depending on how these series of events in the other two games have, transpired, her personality is very different to a certain extent. Like, she's a lot more, at least when I was playing, she's a lot more careful. She's a little more like, okay, we gotta just get rid of these guys because they're gonna kill us because I've had bad things happen to me in the past. That kind of mentality. And what I like about it is that because I like Clementine, I'm finding myself where she's making she tends to make more mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of me really likes this because it makes you go, oh, I don't know if I want to side with Clementine because I don't think this is the right thing we should do, but I don't want to piss her off because I don't want her to turn on me. So I find it really interesting from that perspective.
Wait, turn on you? Aren't you playing as Clementine?
No, you're not playing as Clementine in Season 3.
Oh, okay.
You're playing as a completely different character, and they set up some stuff where Clementine joins you later on in Episode 1 as, like, a companion. And also the one thing that I pointed out when the trailers came out that I thought was hilarious is that she is so much more trained and ready to fight walkers in the game than you are, because she's walking around with a spaz shotgun and you've got, like, a crowbar. And there's a moment that's hilarious where you're getting into a car and it's like you're like 24 years old and she's like 16 and she gets behind the wheel and there's this moment where like maybe I should drive and she just looks at you and I'm just okay I'll go shotgun. It's hilarious. It's hilarious to see her taking charge of the situation. And like I said, I think the best thing about the game is that it's nice to see the growth of the character. That's the strongest part of the game. I really do hope that it's more focused than Season 2. Because the biggest problem I had with Season 2 is that I felt like it was building up to something, but then at Episode 3, it went in a completely different direction, and I don't really think it was worth it.
Okay.
Whereas I felt like Season 1 was more concrete and had a clear goal in mind. Whereas Season 2, they were trying a bunch of different things and they didn't really commit to one idea about halfway through the season. So I really hope that they commit to this idea, and I feel like this is what they're going to do. Overall, enjoying the game a lot. We'll have to see. I really hope they stick the landing, because if they don't stick the landing, then that'll be a disappointment, considering that this game took a while to come out. But that's basically what I mean. I played a little bit of Overwatch, but we'll probably be getting into that later. But yeah, that's what I played this week. What about you, Fawwaz?
Okay, so for anyone that's been following the channel, you know that I started posting Gwent videos.
Yeah.
Actual Gwent videos. Not me playing Gwent in The Witcher 3, but actual Gwent videos. So J Streets bought me a beta key. Shout out to J Streets. And so I've been playing the beta for like the past week or so. And it's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun game. It's Gwent, it's still the same game that it was in The Witcher 3. There have been some slight changes, mostly for the better. Some abilities didn't make it in. Like there was this one ability called Tight Bond, where if there's two units that are, how do I phrase this properly? So like a group of units can have the Tight Bond ability, and what it means is that if you put them next to each other, if you just play two of them, they double each other's strength, right?
Right, yeah.
So I'm guessing CD Projekt Red thought this ability would be a little too powerful, so they jettisoned it. Other than that, there have been like balance changes, obviously. Like The Witcher 3 version of Gwent was not a balanced game. Like I remember a long time ago, Jason actually asked me, he was like, would I play a standalone version of Gwent? And I was like, yes, if they rebalance it.
Yes.
Because even just playing against computer-controlled opponents, I could tell that the game wasn't balanced at all.
Yeah.
So I'm glad CD Projekt Red aren't a bunch of idiots, and they've actually rebalanced the game. It's a lot of fun. I've been playing the monsters. I've been trying to make like a Wild Hunt monsters deck. I know this is one thing that I got to give the game credit for. At the very least, in its current version, it's very kind to free-to-play players, because I eventually plan on playing the game when it comes for PS4, but unfortunately the beta isn't coming to PS4. So I'm playing the beta on PC, and because of that, I was like that I'm not going to put any money into this because I don't know what they're going to do as far as refunds. If they're going to refund me my kegs, which are like card packs, then I'm going to have a bunch of kegs sitting around on a console I'm not going to be playing. So I was like, I'm just going to play the game free to play. And to the game's credit, it's a really easy. It's been really easy to play free to play. I think part of the reason is that unlike Hearthstone, there's a limit to how many golds and silvers you can have in your deck. So there are no decks like Warrior deck that required 7 legendaries. Like, I'm not exaggerating, 7 legendaries to play. So that probably helps out a little bit. But also the game just like gives you the scraps, which is dust, which is what you use to craft cards. It just gives you scraps. You can build up enough scraps to make 1 legendary, I think, every 4 days. So
oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you think of the comparison to Hearthstone, getting a legendary with dust alone would take a freaking long time.
And now there's multiple reasons for this in Gwent. Part of it is that like I think every 2 wins, every X or so. Okay, first of all, there's a good game system, right? So after you finish your match, if you hit good game, you'll give your opponent either some scraps or some ore, and ore is like gold. So there's that, and then if you win, so you have your daily quests. There's quests for winning 6, 12, and 24 rounds. And then those quests, if you complete those quests, it gives you ore. But in the middle of those quests, so for the winning 6 rounds quest, when you win 2 rounds, you get a reward, and then the reward can be like 15. It's usually 15 scraps. So when you win 2, you get 15. When you win 4, you get 15, and then so there's just little rewards here and there that you get that then add up to a lot of scrap very, very quickly. Yeah, like my deck is almost complete. I'm missing 1 card. I'm missing 1 legendary. So hopefully by next week, I'll have enough scraps to build it, and then the deck will be done. So yeah, it's very, very kind in that sense. On the flip side, though, the kegs are useless. The drop rate is just terrible. Like I've opened well over 20 kegs at this point, and I've had 1 legendary drop. I think I'm closing in on 40 kegs, and I've had 1 legendary drop, which is fine. I mean, 1 for every 20 is about average. But just one good thing that they do is so every keg has 5 cards.
Right. Okay.
So how it works is that you open up the keg and then you get 4 cards. You similar to Hearthstone, you click on the back, you see the backs of the cards, and then you click on them to reveal them. Same. However, where things differ is that for the 5th card, the 5th card is always a rare or better. So for the 5th card, it'll go to a different screen, and then you have a choice between 3 rares, 3 epics, or 3 legendaries, right? Okay. So you don't get into a situation where, oh my god, I got my first legendary. Oh no, it's for a class I'm never going to play. In fact, I got 1 legendary, and how it worked was, I got my 4 cards. I revealed them; they were all garbage. And then I got a choice between 3 legendaries, 1 for Squirtle, 1 for Northern Realms, and 1 for Monsters. Right. It was a premium 1 for Monsters, fortunately. So then, you can make an educated decision. Now, obviously, there'll always be those situations where you get 3 legendaries for 3 classes that you don't play. Now, to be fair, that's highly unlikely because there's only 4 classes in the game. But still, the possibility does exist. Or you get 3 useless.
But but that's a really nice feature because it makes you go, okay, I got a legendary, but I really want, I want to have the option to choose out of one of these classes at the very least. Because that's always the struggle with these kinds of games is you open up packs, you craft cards, and you're trying to build. I want this deck, but it's like you really want to build a certain deck, but the means of building that certain deck is really difficult. And the easier it becomes to build that deck, you've got yourself a much more easier to play game, which is great. And
more choice is always better. Choice is always better. But yeah, what I was gonna say was that the drop rate is kind of shit right now. You just barely ever get anything good. It's telling that I'm more excited. Okay, and then the other thing, is that because you have your daily quest, but then you also level up your account, right?
Right.
And then for every level that you hit, you get a reward. So yeah, when you mix all these things together, it becomes very easy to just build the deck that you want. At the very least, it becomes easy to build the first deck. I don't know how easy it's going to be to build more, but yeah, the first deck is very easy to build free in a free to play manner. But yeah. So you level up. But I was gonna say is that it's telling that I'm more excited for the level up rewards that give me scraps than the one that give me kegs, because the kegs you just open them and oh wow,
You're
more
like,
rubbish. Oh wow, more scraps. Oh wow, more scraps. Thank you. So yeah, but all in all, really really cool game. Lots of fun. I'm gonna be putting a lot of time into it in between now and launch. And then when it actually launches, I'm definitely going to put some money in, even if only to support. I mean, first of all, to make those first couple of weeks, because I mean, like the first couple of days were rough. I'm not gonna lie. The basic decks are garbage. So like, and then I got into the beta late, so I was playing against. Yeah, I was playing against people who had much better decks than me, and it was tough. Like I'm not even going to sit here and pretend. They've tweaked it in such a way that makes it easier, because now you get rewarded for the rounds that you won as opposed to the games. So there was that, but it wasn't easy at first. So yeah, when it comes out on PS4, or if I eventually end up just getting the PC version, I'm definitely going to put money in, even if it's just to support CD Projekt Red, but also just to make those first couple of days significantly easier. And there's something fun about just opening up packs and seeing what you get. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
All right, cool. Well, let's get into some news. We've got quickly go over PlayStation Plus and Games of Gold. PlayStation Plus, we've got a couple titles. We've got Day of the Tentacle remastered. And a little more interestingly, This War of Mine, The Little Ones.
Yeah. We also have Blaze Rush, which I've never heard of, for the PS3. The Swindle, which is cross-buy between the PS3, the PS4, and the Vita. The Swindle is actually a game I was interested in when it was announced, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out. Askens 2 for the Vita, I've also never heard of this game. And then Titan Souls, which is another game that I was considering getting for the PS4, and now it's out on the Vita, and it's cross-buy on the PS4.
Yeah.
So yeah, This War of Mine, I've heard of it, but I'd never really followed it. I looked into some reviews, and it looks really good.
Yeah. I've actually played a bit of it, and it is really strong. It's sort of like it's hard to describe it, but basically it's kind of like the gameplay kind of works where you start out with I think it's randomly generated survivors, and you have this small little base of yours, right? And what I really like about it is that it's basically the perspective of a war, a very vague kind of war, right? But from the perspective of the survivors, just the people that are, they're trying to survive. Like they're walking around during war times. You're not a soldier. You're just a civilian who's hiding in a building, trying to, keep some fire going, get some food and stuff like that. And the game's really interesting because you get a lot of scenarios where it's like you have to think, well, crap. I've got these two kids who they really want medicine for their, dying grandmother, right? And for a fact that she is going to be dead in a week. And that giving her the medicine would essentially be a waste, something that you would need later on. And it's like you get those like interesting choices where it's like, I don't know if I really want to give these resources to these people, even though it might be the moral thing to do, but it's going to screw me over later on in the game. And what I really like about it is that like there's small things that affect your character's stats and stuff like that. Like there is I guess you could call it a depression meter, in which when you, as naturally in these kind of games, it's like when you're on a run for supplies, like a supply run, and if one of your partners die and you escape, then the surviving partners are going to feel down and depressed. And that will affect things in your main camp and stuff like that. It's a really, really interesting game. It's really, really interesting. I would highly recommend downloading it for sure.
Oh, yeah. I was watching a review this morning, and I was just doing my research. And yeah, it looks interesting, so I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I'm going to give Titan Souls a shot. Titan Souls is like it's pretty much Shadow of the Colossus, except one touch kills. You die in one hit, and the bosses die in one hit, but you have to figure out where to hit them. It's something along those lines. So
similar. Yeah.
So yeah, and then the Swindle is like it's like a side-scrolling stealth game. So I mean, honestly, at first glance, it looks like a really, really bad month. But I think this is one of the better months. I mean, sure, there's no AAA games, but I mean, my issue isn't AAA. It's just when they give us just shitty indie games, you know. But these indie games don't seem bad, so I'm definitely going to give them.
And there's a good variety. I think there's a good variety in this list, you know. And that's the key. Like, it would have been nice to have a AAA for sure, but you know, this War of Mine is a really, really solid game. Titan Souls is pretty good, but overall, it's a pretty decent. This is definitely a pretty good month for.
One thing that I do want to add though is that Sony's habit of releasing indie games on PlayStation Plus has pretty much made me never buy indie games anymore. No, like, I'm not even kidding.
No, but that's a fair. That is completely fair, because you're like, man, I really want this indie game and I want to support the independent developers, but I know for a fact that this game will eventually become free. So
yeah, like, look at Invisible Ink. You know, I bought it and then it became free. Look at Stories and look at Titan Souls. I was going to buy them and now they're free. So yeah, like, I was gonna buy what's that game called? The really, really difficult one, Darkest Dungeon. I was gonna buy Darkest Dungeon. I was like, this looks like something that's gonna be free in a couple of months. So I'm just going to wait. And then same thing with Alienation. There we go. Yeah. I was literally, I was set. I was all set to buy it, and I was like, this is probably going to be free in a couple of months. But then I didn't buy it. Strike Vector EX. There's so many of them that I haven't bought an indie game since May, when I bought Invisible Ink. And I regret that decision as well. So that is something to keep in mind. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just, you know, something. And this is just me too. Obviously, I'm not saying that everybody's like that, but yeah. In terms of the games with gold, they get Death Trap. I believe that's what that game is called. It's a very stylized name. Death Trap, World of Hensel. Van Helsing. I'm just gonna go with that. And Killer Instinct. They get Killer Instinct Season 2 Ultra Edition, which I think has all the characters. They don't have any of the Season 3 characters, obviously, but all the characters up to Season 2. Then for the Xbox 360, they have the Cave, which I've actually never heard of. And Rayman Origins, which is pretty cool. PlayStation had Rayman Origins for free a long time ago, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Rayman Origins and the Cave are backwards compatible, and then Killer Instinct and Death Trap for the Xbox One. Yeah, not a bad month at all. I mean, the big highlight is Killer Instinct, I believe.
If you have an Xbox One, download this immediately. It's really one of the stronger titles, and it is an immensely packed fighting game. It's feature packed. There's and then with this version you're gonna, I don't know if you get the skins, but you get like every character up to Season 2, which would bring the cast to about 16, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 17, because I know there was a bonus character in Season 2. Killer Instinct. I mean, we've raved about that game over and over and ad nauseum. We've raved about that game ad nauseum on this podcast. So obviously this has our stamp of approval. But Microsoft starting the year off pretty well. I mean, obviously the Sony's PlayStation Plus lineup hasn't generated a lot of positive buzz, but I don't think it's that bad. At the very least, At the very least, I'm going to try these games. I've downloaded 3 games, which is the most I've ever downloaded in God knows how long. So I've downloaded 3 of the games that are available. So at least there's that. We'll see if I actually enjoy any of them, but that's another discussion for another podcast. But not a bad month so far. Who it is a bad month for though is the tank meta in Overwatch, because Blizzard is releasing a balance patch that is pretty much like, okay, so for those that don't really follow the meta game and all that stuff, right now in competitive Overwatch, we are firmly entrenched in the tank meta. There are certain, like, I've seen competitive matches that have 8 tanks. Of the 12
of the 12 characters that were being picked, 8 of them were tanks, and then Lucio and Ana. Zarya, the standard people that get picked are Reinhardt, Roadhog, D.Va, and then that last slot rotates between Soldier 76 and Zarya. So you either have 6 tanks or 8. So Blizzard have had enough, and they're releasing a patch. And this patch revolves solely around fixing the tank meta. That is
That's
so the first nerf, and probably the biggest nerf, is that they nerfed Ana's biotic grenade. Now I've said I think Ana is one of the, if not the strongest characters in the game right now. And this, I don't even think this nerf is enough, but this nerf was way overdue. So the biotic grenade used to double the amount of healing that a character received. To put this into perspective for you, how it used to double it. So to make you understand how crazy this was, Lucio's Amp It Up heals for 30 health per second, I think, for about maybe, let's say 3 seconds. I don't know the exact time, but it amps for 30 heals per second, right? If Ana drops a biotic grenade on 4 of her teammates, let's not even say all 6. If she drops a biotic grenade and hits 4 of her teammates, and then Lucio amps it up, that's 60 heals per second for about 3 seconds. That's 4 of the teammates having a pocket mercy. For 3 seconds. That is what it's actually more. It's like 64 heals per second, but whatever. Let's just round down. That's giving 4 of your teammates a pocket mercy for 4 seconds. That is insane. And then, the speed with which she could, heal tanks back up. There was one play I saw where Reinhardt was at 4 HP and out of position. She hits him with a biotic grenade and puts him back to full health in, 2 seconds. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. So I'm glad they've reduced it. I still think 50% is good for now. I think they should also nerf the fact that it completely blocks out healing. But that's another. I can go on it.
I think that's meant. I think that's more of. I think that's more of one of her gimmicks. So I don't know if getting rid of that completely would be necessary. But
I think what they should do is reduce it. The same way this, because what it used to be was that it amped up healing by 100% and it stopped healing by minus 100%. It should be 50 minus 50. Amp up healing by 50% and reduce healing received by 50%. It still has a desired effect of making opponents' healing less effective without just straight up like it completely stuffs Zenyatta's ultimate. This number of times I've popped my ult and then 3 of my teammates got biotic grenade and just killed, and I'm just sitting there this was a waste of time. It's how do you release that ability that just completely blocks an ultimate? Just completely. And
I can think of several different abilities in this game.
Sleep Dart, and the fact that her pure heals, she heals for 75 heals per shot, not even per second, per shot. And just overall, Ana is way too strong. But I guess Blizzard doesn't want to, release too many nerfs at once, which I agree with. So they're going with this first, and then this should help kill the tank better, or at the very least, it should reduce the effectiveness of tank stacking. The other nerf, and probably the most controversial, the most controversial is still coming. D.Va got nerfed. So D.Va got buffed a little while back, and she became one of the strongest characters in the game. People were complaining because D.Va's defensive matrix. D.Va is one of those characters similar to Winston that I feel like when they are strong, they are not fun to play against. So, people complain to no end about D.Va because the defense matrix is a very uninteractive ability. She puts up the defense matrix, and if you're like McCree, you're like, all right, well.
But I like playing as her though. But I love that. I love that. That's the problem is that because I play D.Va a lot, I'm like, I love the fact where it's like I'm standing in front of McCree who's about to go high noon, and I pop my defense matrix. It's like, yeah, you want to do that? Come on, do it. I dare you.
Yeah, so it's funny. I'm iffy on these changes, right? For 2 reasons. One, and I'll try to hide my bias because I haven't hit the fact that I hate D.Va.
Oh yeah.
Just personally, I just hate D.Va. But I'll try to put my bias aside. And these changes, I feel like D.Va was too strong. Personally, I didn't have issues with her, but I play Zarya, So but I do think that D.Va was too strong. However, I do not think these are the right changes. I don't think this was the problem. The problem with D.Va, in my opinion, was the defense matrix. I think it was too easy to use. It was it's a really strong ability, and there's nothing wrong with having strong abilities, but there was the risk reward for it. There just wasn't any. Like you just pop it, and you've stopped all projectiles, all damage outside of like 3 abilities. Symmetra, Zarya, and Mei. I think and Winston. Symmetra, Zarya, Mei, and Winston are the only abilities that go through D.Va's defense matrix. Literally everything else, you've just stopped it, and there was just no. There wasn't a lot of actual mechanical. It's really funny because D.Va always says time to raise my APM, but she has one of the lowest APMs in the entire game because her abilities are so easy to use. So I feel like they should have focused on the defense matrix as opposed to this.
Yeah.
Because this, I think, is maybe I'm overreacting, but I think this.
But we don't know. Like once we get like let it, we're gonna have to give it like a couple weeks to gestate. You know what I mean?
Of course.
See how things go. I'm curious. I will probably give more feedback once I play more D.Va.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucks because not only did D.Va get a bunch of nerfs, Roadhog also got the.
Oh yeah, you played D.Va and Roadhog.
Yeah, so, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing about this patch, which kind of depressed me a bit because it's like, man, like out of all the tanks I play, it's D.Va, Roadhog, and Reinhardt. And D.Va, I'm the strongest with. Roadhog, I'm fairly good with. And Reinhardt, I'm like okay with. And then the other tanks, I don't particularly care for. Like you're a super good Zarya player. Like absolutely. But I hate Zarya's gun so much, and I just can't use it. So it's like none of my tanks are slowly getting nerfed. I'm like, no.
Well, to be fair, my tank got nerfed last patch.
That is true. So.
But yeah, Roadhog's chain. This is probably the most controversial. Roadhog's chain. So they're pretty much calling it Hook 2.0, as it's been named by Jeff Kaplan. So they've changed Roadhog's hook so that now whenever you hook a target, there is a line of sight check. Okay, well, first of all, the first thing that it does is that it pulls them directly in front of him. So this is actually a buff, straight up. It pulls them directly in front of him, so now it's easier for him to one-shot targets. There's certain heroes that Roadhog always had issues one-shotting. Mei and Ana,
which is a problem as a Roadhog player.
It was very difficult to one-shot those characters because of their hitboxes mixed with the way the hook pulled them in. A lot of times, Roadhogs would hook an Ana in, shoot, not kill her, and then she'd sleep dart him and get away. Or Mei would ice block. Mei was actually the worst because, she'd just ice block and gain her health back. But now it pulls them directly in front, and like I've seen Roadhogs one-shot Zaryas now because of this new change, which makes me depressed, but whatever. However, the nerf is that now Roadhog's hook does a line of sight check. So what used to happen a lot was that Roadhog would like hook a Soldier 76 while he was turning around a corner, right? And then it would pull him from behind the corner. So it was really, really frustrating for the people getting hooked. And one other thing that Roadhogs would do is that if he's on the low ground and you're on the high ground, and you peek, like just a little bit with your head, he would jump, toss a hook, and he'd get you, right? But then he'd land, he'd lose line of sight, but he'd still pull you in. That won't work. That doesn't work anymore. When you hook someone, the game does a line of sight check, and then in between the time between Roadhog pulling you in, Roadhog hooking you and Roadhog pulling you in, if at any point you break line of sight, it will break. Now, just really quickly, some people actually tested this because I was worried about this. Reinhardt's shield, because Reinhardt's shield technically counts as line of sight, Right. If Reinhardt's shield is up, it technically breaks line of sight, but Reinhardt's shield is an exception. Yeah. It doesn't break Roadhog's hook. Thank God, because that would have actually made Roadhog useless. Because one of the big things with Roadhogs and one of the big mind games, when you have two teams with Reinhardt, because everyone plays Reinhardt. You have two teams with Reinhardts and two teams with Roadhogs, right? The Reinhardts do this thing where they drop their shield to fake the Roadhog out, right? And then they put it back up, and then the Roadhog throws his hook, and it bounces off Reinhardt's shield. Every now and then, Roadhog will get a hook, right? And then the Reinhardt will get a hook in between Reinhardt dropping his shield and Reinhardt putting it back up. If Reinhardt's shield counted as a line of sight check, Reinhardt putting his shield back up would break the hook, which honestly wouldn't be fair to Roadhog. So I'm glad that they had the foresight to put that exception in there. With that said, they've come out and they said that the changes are not having the desired effect, so they're working on fixing it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm not sure what they're going to fix exactly, but it's not going to launch in its current form because they're not happy with how it's working. No one is happy right now. Roadhog players are, well, people that don't play Roadhog are happy, but Roadhog players aren't happy and Blizzard isn't happy. So
yeah.
So well, yeah, I mean, then like the final thing is a
exactly
slight buff to Sombra. The hack. Sorry, I didn't let you.
Oh, I was just gonna say really quickly. Like, I mean, that's what the PTR is kind of meant for. They can do their kind of crazier changes, see what people think, and if people are like, no, this is really not fixing the problem, then they go, okay, let's scrap this before we actually launch this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's a good system. But yeah, Sombra, as you were going to say.
Yeah, so Sombra got a slight buff. It's very slight buff. So the time to hack a target has been reduced from 1 second to 0.8 seconds. Most Sombra players and most of the community is probably going to say that this isn't enough, that she's too bad right now and she's far too weak. But like Blizzard came out and said that they made a mistake with Ana. Ana launched and then they kept buffing her. But Ana was a high skill cap hero, so it took time for people to get good with her. And then also, and this is the key, at the time that Ana was getting buffed, Zenyatta was broken. So then when they kept buffing Ana into a broken Zenyatta meta, so when they finally nerfed Zenyatta, Ana became too strong. Yeah. Right? So they've said that they made a mistake with Ana and they're trying to avoid making the same mistake with Sombra. So they should, in my opinion, focus on fixing Ana first because the entire game revolves around Ana right now. So focus on fixing her. When you fix Ana, and then Sombra is also a high skill cap hero, I think. Yeah. So focus on fixing Ana. By the time you finally fixed Ana, maybe some people will finally be good with Sombra. Then you can see what good Sombra play looks like. See what the skill cap, see what she looks like in the hands of a competent player, and then decide whether or not she needs buffs or nerfs or both, But yeah, I like this change because it's nothing too crazy. It's not, I mean, it's honestly, it's very close to just being a quality of life change because 0.2 seconds, I mean, sure, every now and then, like, it'll actually matter, but in general, this is not going to be noticeable. Hey, maybe I don't know anything, but I don't think this is going to be noticeable.
Well, I mean, it will make things slightly nicer because hacking is the best thing about her is that being able to, like, silence people is strong, like, period.
Yeah.
But I always like when I play Sombra, and maybe this is why I'm not a great Sombra, I always like doing her health pack game, which is Salt the Earth. So I don't know, like it will be interesting to see. I think this is a good thing. But I do agree with you where it's like maybe as far as the Sombra problem goes, just adding tinier little buffs to her over time until we can find a good middle ground is better than the giant buffs that Ana got.
Because and then one other thing that I want to add is that, like, sometimes a character is good, they're just not good in the current meta. Look at McCree. McCree is terrible right now because, like, everyone is playing tanks and everyone's playing Diva. In a meta like that, McCree is just not going to get any value. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do against a Reinhardt, a Roadhog, a Diva, and a Zarya? Nothing. Yeah. So, like, McCree is not very good in this meta, but then I'm not saying buff McCree because I think McCree is very balanced, close to being balanced. I think McCree is a solid character right now, but he's just bad in the current meta. So, let's change metas to something less terrible and then see if, she might be good, just bad in this current meta, So, exactly. So I'm not one to overreact. A couple of things that they actually added. They changed the emote wheel. So now you can equip up to 4 emotes, sprays, and voice lines from within the hero gallery.
This I really like.
I actually like this because I have 3 different emotes for Zarya right now, and I can use all 3 of them. Now, I don't know if, and then the voice line and emote submenus can be accessed using the left and right mouse buttons from within the communication wheel. So I'm going to assume that console players can use the left and right triggers.
Probably, or something similar to that.
Yeah, this last line, players can now bind individual sprays, emotes, and voice lines to unique keys or mouse buttons. This is obviously PC only. Console, we just don't have enough buttons for this to be.
But as long as I have the, like, if I have, like, if I want to be an asshole and I have, like, my cool, just look cool taunt and then emote, and then I have my laugh emote when somebody do something really stupid and I somehow survive, then I want to be able to switch between them,
Yeah, same here. So yeah. Oh, and then another thing that they added, and this I'm actually really cool. They added some kill feed changes. So hero ability icons are displayed. So if you get killed with a specific ability, it is displayed now in the kill feed. So your teammates, you can tell if that ability is on, if that enemy's ability is on cooldown,
or
you know?
not. Yeah.
Ultimate abilities are now indicated with an orange arrow, so you can tell if a teammate got killed with an ultimate. And then headshot eliminations are now indicated with a red icon. So I do like this. I like this. You know, this is the more info. More info is better. You know, so you as teammates, especially in a solo queue environment, you can make where people aren't communicating. This helps overcome that hurdle.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, this is an interesting patch. I'm glad they didn't wait too long, because this current meta was terrible. It's one of the worst metas since launch. And I'm glad they didn't wait too long to start releasing patches. Yeah. I don't think this is enough. I think Ana is still going to be very strong.
You know, that's
but you know what? You're right. Like I didn't think the 30% nerf on Mercy's res was going to be enough, and it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So, you know, like this 50% nerf on the antibiotic grenade might be enough to like bring Ana down a peg. I don't think she's going to become bad. I think her kit is way too strong for her to ever become bad, to be completely honest. But I do hope this should at very least kill tank stacking. And I don't think there's anybody in the world that is going to be sad about that.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, the other bit of Overwatch news is that we got a new map.
Yep. Didn't get to play it yet.
because he doesn't want to play in the brawl. Nope. He wants to naturally get into the game in the queue. And I'm like, Tanner, why? Why do you do these things?
Why do I do these things? Because I am who I am.
the option, like, there's literally, the option is right there. You go to arcade mode, and then the first option is Oasis. But Tanner is like, no, I'm not going to take the easy route. I am going to do this the hard way.
I'm going to take the road less traveled.
I got to play on the map because I don't do things the hard way. I'm a lazy man, and if I'm giving an option, I will take that option. Unfortunately, my teammates were all idiots, so the game did not last very long. And then I decided I was just not going to be playing Overwatch while I just got home from a long trip, and I was like, I don't need this kind of frustration right now. But the map is very beautiful. It's a very beautiful map. From a gameplay point of view, like I said, the match didn't last long enough for me to develop a strong enough opinion. Plus, I didn't even play all three of the maps.
Did you get to touch the bounce pads?
No, I didn't get to the point with the bounce pads. I played the first 2 points. The first point I played, it's like a spa. It's the point with a hole in the middle, but unlike Ilios, this hole, there's like a big health pack. So that's going to be really good for like high mobility heroes, Pharah, Genji, and Winston. You know, when it's going down on the point, you can just jump into the hole, get 200 HP, and then jump right back out and be, right back into the thick of things. So that's pretty cool. There's the point itself is on the low ground. So there's a bit of high ground to the right and high ground to the left. So I'm assuming that how and this is just me like theory crafting. How this map is going to go is that when you cap the point, you don't actually defend the point on the point. You leave the point, you go onto the high ground. Similar to Ilios. Is it Ilios? Yeah, similar to Ilios, the point with the giant structures and stuff, where the actual point is like on the low ground.
Right.
Because you don't want to be fighting on the low ground. Like just ask Anakin Skywalker. And then the other point I played was like a giant garden. It was a very, very elaborate point, but I spent a lot of time staring at the kill feed, so I didn't have enough time to actually appreciate the map. But that map it's very, very intricate. It seems like there's a lot of little paths that you can take, and the actual point itself, there's the point, and then there's like high ground. There's like a little pillar and a little place up top. So I feel like both of these maps are going to be very good for Winston and Genji.
Oh, for sure.
And Diva. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that play. I watched a video of some dude playing Pharah on the map, and it looks like this map in general is just gonna be nice for Pharah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play the point that has the cars, because there's one point that has actual cars by the roadside that can kill you.
Yeah.
They used to be able to charge Zarya bubbles, but unfortunately they just took that out.
Really, you don't say.
Hey, I think that's perfectly fair. I'm kidding. That would have been terrible. It was one of those things that if if it was convenient enough for people to use it, it would have been an exploit. And if it wasn't convenient enough for people to use, people would have never used it anyway. So just take it out, right? So no, I completely agree with that decision to take it out. But yeah, I didn't get to play on that point. But all in all, it's a really cool map, very beautiful map. There is a trailer for it, and it's a nice looking trailer. I was hoping, because when they released Eichenwald, we got Reinhardt's legendary skin. I was hoping we'd get another legendary skin with this, but I mean, Christmas was literally last week.
Literally, yeah. And apparently they're reworking May's Christmas skin to a certain extent. I don't know what they meant by that, but.
Oh, I heard that we're just getting a new skin because people were really upset with the May Christmas skin. Yeah, but if they're reworking the May Christmas skin, I'm down with that too, because I got the May Christmas skin in a pack. Yeah. And I was like, of course I get the skin that I spent like 2 hours ranting about. But
well, I mean, like, honestly, I didn't have the hate as other people did towards the skin. I mean,
Same here.
I'm still happy to see that there's going to be a new version, because that'll be cool. I just hope that the new version has more stuff, because the coolest thing about the May skin is actually the snowman. Like, the snowman part of it is the coolest thing about it, but a lot of the other stuff is not too interesting. But we'll see. But I think that's enough for Overwatch. I think we got to get into some release dates. We got Injustice 2 release date, May 16th. So that was just announced recently, and that's pretty good. I think people have been waiting long enough for Injustice 2, and but what do you think? You're the fighter.
I think it's weird that we're getting a release date because we've gotten so little info about the game in general. Like we have, I think, 8 characters revealed. Mm-hmm. Maybe not even. I might be wrong, but like we haven't gotten a lot of info about this game, so it's weird that we're getting the release date. With that said, May is like far down the line.
Yeah.
May is far down the line, so there's a lot of time for them to promote the game. There's actually this really cool thing that they did for Injustice 1, where they had a tournament, right? Mm-hmm. So they had a tournament with a bunch of characters, and they were all duking it out, and then every week we would vote. Fans would vote for who would win. So it'd be like the Joker versus Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman beat the shit out of him. Yeah. So then they're like, fans should vote, and then whoever wins, they would then release a video of them duking it out in game. They'd have a video of them duking it out in game, mm-hmm. and then we'd see who'd win. The one issue with that thing was that they made the key mistake of including Superman and Batman in the bracket. Once we got to the final 4, we all knew how it was going to play out. Superman was going to win his battle. I can't remember who he fought against. Batman was going to win his battle. I can't remember who he fought against. And then Batman was going to beat Superman in the final. Like, we all knew. So hopefully they do that again, and hopefully this time they keep Superman and Batman out of it, because because I feel like if those two weren't in it, it would have been like completely open. Anybody could have won. But with Superman and Batman being in it, we just know how both sides of the bracket are going to play out. So, but yeah, there's actually 10 characters. 10 characters revealed. Considering Injustice 1 had 25, and I'm assuming Injustice 2 is only going to have more, we still have at least 15 characters. And so it's still really so yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Honestly, I'm gonna be saying my piece. Bless you. I'm gonna be saying something similar to that with our next game, but yeah, it's weird that we've only really gotten like about 10 confirmed characters, and we're still waiting for a couple. Yeah. But our next game, which was a shock to me, because it came the hell out of nowhere. Yeah. Mass Effect Andromeda got a release date. It's for March 21st, which is way sooner than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Now, the trade-off is that Mass Effect Andromeda has been in development for like 4 years now.
Yeah, for a while.
Actually, no. Probably been longer. We've known of Mass Effect for like 3 or 4 years now. So like the fact that we haven't seen a lot doesn't mean that a lot hasn't been done to it. But I completely agree. Because they insinuated like a little while back that they were targeting a Q1 2017 release date. But I just laughed and I heard that. Like, they're never going to make that release date. Apparently they are. Because, well, at the very least, apparently they still think they can. Because, they announced the release date and it's March. That's in 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually like the Injustice one. Like I said, May is still 6 months away. A lot can change in 6 months. For God's sake, 6 months ago I could leave my house in my underwear and I wouldn't, lose a limb. So a lot can change in 6 months, and so yeah, we shall see. But
yeah, it's I mean, they also showed off a little more gameplay stuff, which I was really happy to see, and we got to see the menu. I was really happy to see that. I was seeing the return of I was. I was happy to see the menu for choosing biotic abilities and the skill tree, and I like that it's my biggest concern. I've stressed this on other podcasts with Mass Effect Andromeda is I don't want it to become a grind fest like Inquisition kind of became. But from what I'm seeing with the gameplay, it seems way more action oriented, and I love the movement. I love the jumping that he's doing in the trailers, like the biotic jumping essentially, or teleporting, or whatever.
I remember that.
This also makes me excited, but it's weird because I've also been waiting for, because this game has been confirmed to have multiplayer, right? And
yes.
I was a really big fan of the Mass Effect 3 Horde mode. It was a lot of fun. I spent tons and tons of hours playing it, collecting as many cosmetic stuff for the races. I never, even though it had microtransactions, you could buy packs. I never bought a single pack because I was playing it so much I never needed to.
Okay, that's good.
And it was a lot of fun. And I love how they just kept on supporting it with free DLC, just free new races, new characters to pick from. It was so much fun. So I'm really hoping that returns in a more just better even just a better version. But it's weird. It's just because we've really been getting piecemeal stuff for the game only up until recently. When you think about I want to say I guess E3, where we got a good dump of gameplay footage and some story trailer and stuff like that. But it's weird. It's just weird that it's March 21st, guys, get ready. But yeah, definitely excited for that for sure.
I don't think they're going to make it. I think one of two things is going to happen. Either this is going to get delayed, or this is going to launch in March and people are going to be upset because they feel like it should have been delayed. This just feels too soon. But like I said,
it could be a pleasant surprise. It has been developing for a while. It has been.
So yeah, I'm probably going to be wrong in that regard.
But then again, I may want to double check, and because I never really followed the marketing. Well, I followed the marketing for Mass Effect 3 a lot more than 2 because I jumped in with 2, right? And now that I think about it, there was a lot more marketing for 3. But that was the conclusion, right? That they were pushing it super hard. But now I think about it, there wasn't really a whole lot of okay, here's a gameplay trailer. Here's all the soldier classes. Here's your 3 different story trailers. There wasn't as much, at least as far as I'm recalling. I don't know.
There was a lot of promo for 2 though. There was a lot of promo for 2. They had trailers for every single class. They had trailers for all the new characters. They had a bunch of actual story trailers. There was a lot of promo for 2. It's actually funny. I really followed 2. It's funny that you're talking about how you didn't you barely followed it at the time. I was really, really crazy about 2, and I think I just didn't pick it up because I was in school around the time that it came out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there was a lot of promotion for 2, definitely more than there's been for Andromeda. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see.
I'm still super excited. I will definitely be getting this game because I want to get back into the Mass Effect world more than anything.
And I will definitely not be getting this game.
Well, I have a couple friends who they also played the multiplayer and they loved it too. So they're going to probably jump in just for that. But we're waiting for a reveal trailer, so hopefully we get that soon. But our last piece of news before we wrap things up, we've got From Software saying that, yes, there will be making a new game. There should be a new game coming 2017.
Yeah, so people are speculating whether it's going to be a new Dark Souls what? Or a new Bloodborne game, and I'm like, well, first of all, it's not going to be a new Dark Souls.
No,
that I can say with a certain degree of certainty. Like I'm 100. There's a few things I'm sure of, as the fact that From Software will not release a Dark Souls. Well, what is this, Call of Duty? Come on, people.
Yeah.
A new Dark Souls a year after they released the last one. The consensus game that everyone thinks is going to be is a new Bloodborne, which would make sense. Bloodborne 1 came out in 2015, so like this this will have just that it's 2 years, which is just about the amount of time that you'd expect a sequel to come out in, and then because a lot of people are saying that maybe it's a new IP, but I'm like, if it's a new IP, I feel like they'll want more time, because if this game is actually coming out in 2017, it needs to be announced soon. You know, and I feel like there isn't enough time to announce a new IP and then build up the hype before launching. I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say like this, whatever game this is coming out like holidays.
Probably holidays, yeah.
So yeah, if I had to bet, I'd bet on Bloodborne 2. Bloodborne 2 makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. They did imply a long time ago that they had a new IP and they expect that new IP to launch in 2017. So hey, it might be a new IP. All in all, I'm just excited for more From Software stuff. I love their last 2 games, and I'm excited for more.
Yeah, I'd be great with Bloodborne 2. Kind of hoping for the new IP, because I really want to see Mech Souls. So, I really do. Because as much as I love their fantasy stuff, I would be so interested to see a
Sci-Fi Souls.
Like a Sci-Fi Souls. I really want to see that, because, they could do so much with that. They really could. And
there's actually a game coming out, The Surge. Mm-hmm. There's actually this game coming out called The Surge. Mm-hmm. I saw gameplay of it a long time ago. It's done by Deck 13 Interactive, who I'm not sure what other games they did Lords of the Fallen. So there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much a sci-fi Dark Souls. Like I literally Googled sci-fi Dark Souls, and that was what came up. So maybe check that out if you're looking forward to. Tanner's like, no, you misunderstood. I meant sci-fi Souls game from Software. Okay.
No, I would definitely. I'll give this game a look for sure. But like, I don't know. Like I'm as much as I would love Bloodborne 2, which it's the smartest choice. Like I would love to just see, because I want to see what his idea, because Dark Souls, the coolest thing about Dark Souls is it's a very classic medieval RPG from a Japanese perspective. And I would love to see a sci-fi there have been sci-fi RPGs from a Japanese perspective, but I would still love to see it, like, regardless. But I don't know. I'm still excited. I'm just excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. But before we wrap things up, we have our question of the day from the wonderful J Streets. And he's asking us, what are our 2017 game resolutions for 2017?
Yeah, so my New Year's resolution is that I'm going to beat XCOM 2 in Iron Man mode this year.
All right.
Yeah, and I intend to record it, actually. So look forward to that on the channel. Mm-hmm. But well, not just Iron Man mode, because I mean, beating the game normal Iron Man mode is really nothing to get excited over. So Commander, not Legend, because
Legend
I don't
is
have
stupid
time
hard
for that level of frustration. But definitely Commander. I think I can beat it in Commander Iron Man mode. And the cool thing about XCOM is that if you fail a campaign in XCOM, you're probably going to fail it in the first couple of months. Mm-hmm. So it saves you the time of making it all the way to the end, and then, because once you make it to like a certain point in the game actually becomes easy. I'm playing it on Commander right now, and I made it to that point, and then the game it becomes straightforward. I actually just sent Tanner a picture of me hacking a sectopod. Sectopod recently, because that's how. So like, it's one of those things where, like, I'm not worried about, getting really deep into the game and then finding out that I failed, because I feel like if I'm going to fail, more than likely it's going to be in the first month.
Yeah, exactly.
So at the very least, the game is going to save me time in that regard. But yeah, that is definitely my New Year's resolution. By this time next year, I would have beaten, because I didn't beat enemy unknown in Iron Man mode, and there was no trophy for beating enemy within in Iron Man mode, so I just never bothered. There was a trophy for beating it without buying a squad size upgrade. That's a really difficult trophy, by the way. I did that. This game actually has both, so I'm gonna do that too. But yeah, that is definitely my goal for this year. I am going to beat XCOM 2 in Commander Iron Man mode.
Yep. All right. Cool. I've got a couple. I too would hope that I would gather the courage to play Iron Man mode. Maybe not even Commander, but just Iron Man mode in general. Try and get past my save scummy ways. You know.
Yes.
Yes. And I have one from another one that I want to really do is I really want to finish and play Witcher 2 and finish that. I will finish Witcher 2. That is my goal. But I'm also going to point out something because Fawwaz has stated that why don't you just go to Witcher 3? You could just watch a video explaining what happened in Witcher 1 and 2, just skip to 3, right? And there is something that I think Witcher 3 should have that actually the new Walking Dead Telltale game has.
Oh.
And this is something that I think is very key. And this is something that Mass Effect has and this game has, and it's a great, awesome feature. In Walking Dead Season 3, because they moved it from the PS3 to the PS4, how do you transfer your save data, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there is a way to do it, but they give you the option to customize your story, which is basically before you start the game, you can go back and select a bunch of different choices that were in the previous games and select which ones you chose. So like, did this character survive? Did you kill off this character? Did you do this to this character or something like that? And you go through a little tree of decisions, right? Yeah. Mass Effect has a similar thing, because back when I bought Mass Effect 2, there was no Mass Effect 1 available. So they had a little comic thing where you could play through this motion comic and you would be able to choose different options. Like, did you side with Liara or Ashley, or did you tell them to go, okay, guys, stop fucking catfighting, we got to focus on the mission, you know? And, or who survived the end? Did you kill the Arachnite Queen? Stuff like that, right? And that was a really good way to give me a little bit control over my story that I wouldn't have had control over, you know?
The only Witcher 3 has that option, right?
Witcher 3?
Yeah.
Does it have like a full control, like I can choose my decisions for Witcher 1 and 2?
For 2, I think. I don't think it has
Not
for
1.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, it is not as... I'm trying to think of a game it's not as good as like Dragon Age, because Dragon Age Inquisition had this thing that you can do online, right?
Yeah, it's not as in depth. It's very simple.
It's not as in depth as that, and there's not a good amount of context given to a lot of the decisions, right? Mm-hmm. So like how it works, there's a scene where you're meeting with this king guy, and then so they're shaving you. And while you're getting shaved, this one dude comes and he's asking you, he's like, so we just need to get a quick rundown of your adventures up to this point. Obviously, he says it in a less on the nose way. But then he just asks you questions about a couple of decisions that you would have had in The Witcher 2, I think, and then you make your choices. But like I had no idea what I was choosing because there wasn't a lot of context given to a lot of the decisions. So it does have that option, but it's not very good.
Yeah, see, I want the full breakdown, you know, like not only that's something that I want more. This is just an aside. I want more games if you're gonna have games that have full decisions carry over from game to game, but you're also like promoting that you can start from game 2 or you can start from game 3. Then they should have this option in the game or something similar. This is something that they need to push, because if I'm going to jump in game 3, I really want to have the ability to have some control over my past actions. Because the thing that I would hate the most is starting Witcher 3 and then realizing, there was this decision that the game auto chose, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I would have never chosen that if I had played that game. you know?
I
And
feel you.
that's a big deal for me. But that aside, I will complete Witcher 2. I promise. I promise. It's a promise.
Ha! Okay, you know what? You know what? This is another challenge. Let's see. You know,
Let's see.
this time next year we'll see who's finished their New Year's resolution. I mean, it's funny because you think Iron Man mode, that's really difficult. It's like, yeah, that is really difficult, but not as difficult as finishing The Witcher 2 in 1 year. Oh my god.
It's very difficult.
Yeah,
that game's hard. Like
oh
the game. Okay, listen. As someone who's played Witcher 2, the game is hard. It is hard to play.
The game is hard.
Okay.
And the game is the bad kind of hard because like the game itself is difficult and then like it's just not user friendly.
It's not user. Okay, to be fair, I it's not that the game was hard or even user friendly. It was because I was also playing the game with a subpar graphics card. So it could barely run it as is. But now that I have a much fancier graphics card, the game will run smoother. It will look better. So honestly, it's mostly just like I wanted to just sit down and just go, okay, I need to start this. I need to just do it, you know? And every time I go to do it, I'm like, oh wait, I need to finish SMT, or like, oh wait, Mass Effect's around the corner.
Coming out this year.
yeah. This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be a hard challenge. Anyway, I wish myself the best of luck.
Effect Andromeda is coming out in 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I'm kind of fucked, aren't I? So we're going to end on that note. So you've got a New Year's resolution that you're totally going to succeed in. Leave it in the comment section. If you got a question, leave it in the comment section. We'll make sure to answer in the next podcast. And as always, this is your host, William Liberty, and...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.